the pace is so fast now that our souls can't catch up with us. And I find that more and more people are looking for retreat space,
right,
for Sabbath time, trying to cultivate Sabbath,
right,
just to get themselves back.
Some people have such an overdeveloped, right, sense of the head knowledge,
Yes.
and trying to get them out of their head,
Yes.
right, to the place of the heart, or even to the gut, right, to someplace else is a very, very hard thing. And so you have to kind of think about, well, what kind of language do I use with someone, you know, who's a high T on the Myers-Briggs, right? Because saying to a high T, well, how does that feel, is actually a question that doesn't really compute in a meaningful way.
Though we are speaking about head and heart, that body is certainly anchor in presence. And I know that when I'm grounded, it gives a particular clarity to my thinking. And certainly to be open-hearted requires a grounded presence, as my mentor David Daniels says.
Right.
So I sure want to acknowledge the role, the important role of the body, almost as anchor in present moment, as maybe the point of salvation almost. Can I be here now with myself?
Right.
Can I be available to me so I'm available to you and to the whisperings of the holy?
You know, in early stages of people's spiritual development, it's very much a, well, you know, here's what the rules are that I'm supposed to do. And it is very much, a lot of it is, I think, spirituality by intellect. And so helping people grow into a relational sense
Right.
Of their faith, and out of just here are the things I kind of declare, believe,
Right.
is I think part of the maturation and growth process.
There's a Howard Thurman quote buzzing around in my head as you spoke. He said something like, as he taught at Howard University, I love the rigor of the idea that the students bring, and I listen for the heart as they process the idea.
Brilliant.
Wasn't
Brilliant.
that lovely?
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny, the words knowledge and education. So if I am learning and educated, I would think I would be applying the knowledge.
Right.
So it's the inside, or the cognitive is fine and fun,
Right.
but what difference does it make in my life?
Right.
And I think in spiritual direction, folks come in and they have said, well, here's the text, or here's something I read. And the question is, well, how do you apply that to your life?
Right.
What difference does it make? How are you attending to the emerging story of your life?
Right. Right.
And if I'm attending, I'm paying attention. And so part of the work I do in spiritual direction, in particular with the Enneagram system, is helping people understand the perspective, the lens through which they view the world, and then being able to identify it then helps us expand.
Right.
Yeah, this is how we limit ourselves. So what would it be like to live at full stretch?
Yeah. And when you say how do we limit ourselves, it's not just limit us, but in some sense then, how do we limit God? Right? Because I think that's the other part of this piece, because if I come at God with a preconceived sense of, this is how God should appear
Right.
to me, this is how God should sound, then what often happens is people say, well, I'm not experiencing God.
Yes.
And often when people are saying they're not experiencing God, what they're saying is, God did not appear to me in the way that I expected or decided.
I'm finding, and I bet you are too, that images of the holy are simply foundational. And then how do we believe those images then impact how we believe the holy acts in the world?
Say a little more about that.
So if I image God as all-powerful,
Right.
then I believe that God will act in particular
Yes.
powerful ways
Yes.
and has the power to do this, this, and this. I remember a theology school professor saying, do you believe that God is powerless to stop loving us? So if I believe in an all-loving God,
Right.
then I would say God is powerless to stop love.
Right.
So image and how God acts in the world is so related.
And I think in some sense that those images are, for some people, so much part of the background they don't even see, right? That they are images. And so I think part of many people's conversion is seeing, oh, I have had this image, and I think for many people, an image of a punishing God, and that has tremendously influenced and, in a negative way, limited their ability to experience God's love. Because God appeared in a particular way. And so I think helping people get in touch with the images that they have and help them understand that those images are incomplete images. Michael Himes, who's a theologian that I love, speaks about the least wrong way to talk about God. And I love that expression, right? That anything we say is incomplete. So there's not a problem with an image, so long as we understand this is a piece, this is a partial image, and in fact that some of those images are our own construction. So that we say we're made in the image of God, but usually what we're doing is constructing God.
If I can't be still 20 minutes in a day, I think I'm lost to myself.
Yeah.
And we aren't practiced at that.
So people say to me when I go off, I do an 8-day silent retreat every summer, and people say, I can't imagine that you could stay silent for that.
It's a relief.
Of course it is.
It's a relief.
Yes. And we do have busy lives, and you have people doing, 4 things at once. But again, to take that time, even if it's just in the middle of the day, it could be 5 minutes in the middle of the day. And it changes everything that happens after that. To stop